this offseason be, and how great are the challenge to try to get things turned around the way you want them to be?
It will obviously be a very large focal point of ours this offseason. We're going to spend a lot of time really digging into it. As we've spent some time reflecting back on the season, we weren't bad at all in terms of creating opportunities. We just weren't nearly good enough at converting. And so, we're going to spend a lot of time getting into both aspects of that, of making sure that we feel like we can put together a 13-man, offensive group that can create enough opportunities and yet also convert enough to be really good. And it's hard to put your finger on exactly. Obviously, offense around the league is down. We're in a very suppressed run-scoring environment, and so we have to look at it differently. We have to come at it from as fresh of a perspective as we can to figure out how we can put ourselves in the best position to score more runs than we allow. And I joked about this a few years ago, whether that's that we score 200 runs and allow 160, it doesn't really matter. It's about that balance between the two and putting ourselves in a position to be playing competitive games in September. So we will focus a lot on that and put ourselves in a position where we feel confident that the way our roster complements one another, that we'll be a really good and talented team.
Oh yeah, sure. Can you do that with more?
Can you do that with more or less the current core you have and more or less the current philosophy you have?
As far as the core players, we feel really good about the guys that we have. And, we spent a lot of time reflecting back on the season. We'll spend a lot more time looking back just to be more informed as we look ahead. And that's what we're going to spend a lot of time on in terms of the individual players that we have in isolation, then also how they complement one another, and then getting into philosophically, what changes should we make, what things have kind of evolved in the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know the answer to that yet, but we'll obviously spend a lot of time reflecting back on that and being as introspective as we can be.